Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deborah Doherty, the Executive Director of the Northeast Region for Canine Companions, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our guests, both in person and those who have joined us on the live stream. Thank you for joining us to share in the celebration of our Veteran Service Dog graduation at the Miller Family Campus and the kickoff of National Service Dog Month, which you will be hearing more about throughout the month of September. It takes 2 years, many hands, and many hearts to get a Canine Companion service dog fully trained and prepared for its important work. In addition, it also takes many financial resources to get these dogs ready for their work, and we don't charge our clients for their service dogs. So today, I'd like to recognize and express our gratitude to several people who have acknowledged the vital work of our service that our service dogs do for their teammates. Nancy and Terry McGraw, who through the Harold W. McGraw III Foundation have generously sponsored one of today's graduating teams. And Ken Stanley of the GT Foundation, who has also generously sponsored one of today's graduating teams. Please join me in thanking them and all of our other supporters who would not make it possible, for whom it would not be possible for us to continue to do our work. So thank you to all of them. And we'd also like to express our gratitude for our volunteers, especially the puppy raisers who nurture and raise our puppies for 18 months. Congratulations to each of you and your families on crossing the finish line today and selflessly handing over the leashes of the puppies you loved and raised as they begin their journey as service dogs. Thank you to the volunteers who came and helped with lunches for the students so that they could remain focused on class. And congratulations to the training staff, especially the trainers of this class, and Laura Ann and Marissa, who led the class and exemplified the core values of the organization through another successful team training. Thank you to the development, admin, and kennel staff for all of their hard work behind the scenes to get us to this day. And to the class, thank you for your service to our country and for giving Canine Companions the opportunity to serve you by providing you with a tool with a warm heart to be by your side and assist you in navigating your journey forward from this day. Congratulations on successfully completing your training and graduating today with your new service dogs. There are a few things that parallel the strength of the human-animal bond, and we welcome you into a unique extended family, whether you choose to be a part of it or not. It stands by the ready to be of service to you. And now I would like to share a special team training presentation with everyone.
Drafted by the Army, and drafted by the Army, and when I went to Whitehall Street, they said, we need Marines today. Out of you 90 men, we're going to pick 20 of you people as Marines. On the same day I was drafted, I had friends of mine from high school, as well as a buddy that I hung out with, also down with me, and we all decided we're going into the Marines that day. And my close buddy, he was one that didn't come home from Vietnam. We all wound up going to Vietnam, and he didn't come home.
My dad was a sergeant in the Army Reserve. He said, hey, why don't you think about joining the Guard or Reserve? I had a good friend of mine who was in the Pennsylvania National Guard. He kind of talked me into it, so I joined as an enlisted soldier. Well, now I got a GI Bill, so now I could go back to Kutztown University, and my dad said, hey, you're going to college, if you're going to be in the military, you might as well make some money, become an officer. So I joined the ROTC program, and I was commissioned a lieutenant in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, and this was in 1993. I graduated from Kutztown University.
Paris Island did a good job, you know. We were gung-ho, you know. We were what they call piss and vinegar in our veins, and we were, you know, we were trained and brainwashed to be the greatest, you know, and we really believed it, you know, and they sent us over to Vietnam, and at the time, this is 1966, our government sent us, you know, and we went, you know, and then we were told we were supposed to, you know, protect their democracy there because they were going into communism, you know. Unfortunately, when we got there, I realized that the country was for us and against us in a sense. They really weren't by our side, and I had a feeling it was going to be dragged out as long as it was.
We were responsible for the security of the international zone, which is 5 square miles in the heart of Baghdad. Now this is 2006, 2007. This is the surge. This is when General Petraeus was the commander, and this was when it was hot. May of 2006, the place where I slept, within a 300-meter radius, there were over 80 confirmed impacts of indirect fire. And I knew this because one of my jobs was to monitor the amount of indirect and also to respond to them and kind of do a battle damage assessment.
Combat for anybody is, even war itself, is a traumatic experience, and it stays with you forever. And even when you come home, you feel the guilt of surviving such a traumatic experience. It's beastly brutality. 2016,
police career over. 2017, mandatory retirement. I retired as a major. Done. You're not getting promoted, you're done. So now I'm 50 years old, done work, you know, kind of a good thing, you know what I mean? But, you know, my grandmother used to have a saying, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So now what am I going to do to keep busy? Now I'm not keeping busy. Now guess what's coming back? You know, thoughts, images, sight, smells, sound, you name it, whatever the trigger of the day is, you know, to release the demons, as I say, you know. I think how I coped with my PTSD was not only shrugging it off, but keeping myself so occupied and distracted. I would do things in my community. I was a volunteer fireman, which I still am for 40 years. I was commander of my American Legion post. And be a commander, you have to go up the line. I mean, this is quite a bit, and there's a lot of detail with that. And I'm also the past commander of my local VFW chapter, again going up the line. We had 2 girls. I couldn't be a Boy Scout leader, so we became Girl Scout leaders. I think I just totally consumed at the same time trying to keep a household, painting the house, or putting this down, and repairing that. It was a constant busy where I was too exhausted to really come face to face.
The class that we're teaching right now is a class for veterans, and the dogs that got matched are Marshal and Auggie, and they have been specifically trained to help mitigate the symptoms of post-traumatic stress for the veterans. A lot goes into our matches. It's a very lengthy application process for any of our clients to go through the process, and so we get a whole bunch of information based on their lifestyles, their home environment, the places they want to be taking the service dogs, the types of environments, whether it's work or flying on airplanes, traveling with transportation. All of that gets considered based on the type of dog we're going to match them with. And so then we also have to look at the skills that the veterans and our clients want. Do they want the dogs to wake them up from nightmares? Do they want the dogs to pick things up off the ground like canes and keys that might fall? And so then we look at the dogs that we have available. What are their skill sets? Are they really good at retrieving? Are they really good at those positional commands? And we start thinking about the environments that dog would work well in. So it really is this matchmaking process where we sit down and we look at all the facts and we look at what the people want and what the dogs can do and find those best matches. We like to practice many skills both here on campus and out in public that will be utilized by the veterans. So we practice some of the positional commands, front and behind, where the dogs stand either in front of the veteran or behind the veteran. These are really useful in crowded spaces or waiting in lines where people might not give a veteran enough space for them to feel comfortable. And by putting the dog either in front or behind them, this allows people to stand a little bit further back and give them the space that they need to feel comfortable. We also saw the dogs practicing some ups where they put their feet up on a surface, and under where they lay down underneath the surface. And those are very useful in just navigating around environments, getting the dogs to be out of the way when they're at a restaurant, going underneath a table. We will be working with the veterans on retrieving things off of counters, so the dogs will have to put their feet up to grab some medication or a cell phone off of the counter and bring that back to the veteran. And we also just worked on basic, obedience of sit and down and walking nicely on a leash, as those are critical skills for the dogs behaving when out in public. The dogs, when they are with their puppy raisers, they are learning so much about the world. I can train dogs to do all the commands that we need the dogs to do. So I can teach them to sit and down and walk nicely on a leash, but I can't take 10 dogs home with me and teach them not to potty in the house and to go out in public and be calm. I can't expose them to men with canes and beards and hats and women in big raincoats with umbrellas. That's all part of just life that these puppies need to be able to experience over the course of that year and a half that they're with their puppy raisers.
Sure enough, the next appointment we had for Northport, VA, where I go to, there was a veteran named Benny, who was walking his dog with this vest on. And my wife went running over to him and asked him about his dog, and could she pet him, and was he working? And he said, fine. And we had a nice conversation, and he said, there's a beautiful place, CCI, here in Medford, and that, he says, you live in Long Island, you're only 40 miles away. He says, you can choose to live there for 2 weeks or commute.
The professionalism and the skill set of the folks here it's incredible. And they really, and the experience, because you could tell they anticipate our questions, that they know, and we'll get to that, And the other thing is, it's a great environment. It's a very calming environment. It's good for guys like us, guys who are looking for peace. This is good. And these great dogs we're getting paired with bring that peace.
So I was a little bit taken back. This is quite a big dog. They say he's a mixed lab, but he's quite big, but we're growing on each other. And I think eventually he will be my best buddy. Like I said, we used to have a saying in the service, I got your back, I got you 6. And I feel with somebody like him, he has my back and my 6. He's going to keep me safe and secure. And I think if there's anything going on, he'll warn me about it. And I feel that, and I know I can feel the endorphins, when I pet him or stroke him, I feel that he's giving me love, and it's unconditional love that just keeps on giving. And that's what this guy's about.
That alone time when the mind starts to wander back to Baghdad, Kabul, Ghazni, fill in the blank of, whatever, the streets outside of Reading, the fill in the blank. I can unfortunately conjure up about 100, different bad things in my head. He'll be there, and I can call him over, and I can say, Auggie, lap. Yes, that's it. yes, now he's here. You know, he feels good, I feel good. You know, it's a mutual. So, who's saving who? I don't know. I mean, he was living, don't get me wrong, he was living a good life, but I'll give him a good life.
We'd like to thank Craig Lau of Great Bay Communications for producing today's amazing graduation video. Alrighty, so good afternoon, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Marissa Guidaboni, and I'm a senior instructor here at the Northeast Region for Canine Companions for Independence. I am very pleased to be able to present today's two graduates of our August/September 2022 Service Dog Class for Veterans. It was an honor to work with these individuals and help guide them through the process of learning to utilize their new service dogs. They put in 2 weeks of hard work as they learned about 40 commands and sat through lectures covering material on everything from basic dog care to advanced learning theory. I'm so proud of all they've accomplished over the past 2 weeks, stepping out of their comfort zones to become good leaders and practicing. In return, these dogs we've paired with them, will use their skills to enhance the graduates' confidence and comfort level in public, while also providing constant companionship. I look forward to watching the bonds that they have formed grow as they leave team training and head back home. I want to extend our gratitude to the puppy raisers who cared for and loved these dogs and helped make those teams possible. I would like to invite up puppy raiser Rebecca to tell us about her experience raising Auggie.
Hi, Auggie side. It seems like just yesterday that I was picking up the toasty ball of fluff who was 9-week-old Auggie. It's hard to believe that it was actually 2 years, 2 months, and 24 days ago. What isn't difficult to believe is the number of people who played a role in his journey. I'm sure many of us have heard the proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." I can honestly say puppy raising and raising a future service dog takes a village. From his breeder caretaker and the staff at the Northeast Region to our local Old Dominion and Capital chapters, Auggie and I have had the support of the Canine Companions family. But our village doesn't stop there. Auggie was raised on the campus of the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia. The Mary Wash community included members of the Service Dog Training and Education Program, otherwise known as STEP at UMW. Here, we were surrounded by other puppy raisers who were always ready to help. Whether it was puppy sitting during a busy week of classes, helping us work through some of the more complex commands, or providing words of encouragement before matriculation, they did it with a smile on their faces. STEP members were not the only individuals of the Mary Wash who played a vital role in raising Auggie. I was also blessed to have roommates who opened their space up to dog toys and golden hair everywhere. Professors who allowed him to attend and sometimes snore through their classes, and others who enthusiastically educated the community on the purpose of our yellow-vested pups. No matter how short or seemingly insignificant the interaction, Auggie positively affected many within our community. Not a day goes by that someone I encounter inquires about how he is doing. I know this experience is not unique. Having spoken to other puppy raisers and graduates, it's clear that the impact of these dogs is far greater than I could have ever imagined. When people meet our puppies, they often ask, how do you give them up? For me, knowing the magnitude of their impact makes it possible. But that's not all. It's days like today when we get to welcome 2 new members to our family. I want to thank Canine Companions and all those who made it possible for me to have the privilege of being part of the village that raised Auggie. I could not have done it without you. Thank you.
All righty. I would like to invite our training manager, Laura Ann DeBecke, to come up and help with the presentation of certificates. Thank you. All righty. I would first like to invite up Major Andrew Barrow, U.S. Army retired. Andy has been placed with service dog Auggie II, who was raised by Rebecca Denko of Reading, PA. Congratulations. And our next graduate, I'm pleased to announce, is Corporal Richard Moonman Mooney, U.S. Marine Corps. Richard has been matched with service dog Marshal, raised by Carrie McKay of Lewiston, Idaho. Carrie was unable to join us here today, so here to present him on her behalf is Marshal's trainer, apprentice instructor Taylor Studley. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For those of you who may not be familiar with the U.S. military tradition of challenge coins as they've become to be known, the tradition dates back nearly 200 years when campaign coins were issued supporting Andrew Jackson for president. During the Civil War, custom military coins were minted to replace U.S. currency that was in short supply. But the tradition, as we know it today, began during World War I when a young pilot shot down behind enemy lines used a small medallion issued by his squadron to identify himself to friendly troops. The coin saved his life. So from that time until this time, it became a tradition for military units in all branches of service to carry a coin with their unit insignia at all times. On some special occasions, such as today, a challenge coin is given to recognize and reward individuals, both military and civilian, for outstanding achievement and support of the men and women in armed service to their country. So to help us out with our presentation today, I would like to invite up our special guest. He is Massapequa resident Peter Finocchio, a World War II and Korean War veteran who Canine Companions is honoring this November 9th at our annual Salute Independence Veterans Day event. Mr. Finocchio was 16 years old when, with his parents' permission, he enlisted in the United States Merchant Marines, serving 2 years as a seaman during World War II, sailing cargo ships that carried gasoline, oil, ammunition, food, and medicine to England, France, and Belgium. In 1950, Peter was drafted and again honorably served his country in Korea. We are very pleased that Corporal Finocchio is joining us with his family and will be presenting our Canine Companions Challenge coins to our veterans graduating today. So if you'd like to come on up and help us. I'll have you come right here. And can I have Andy come on up?
sir. Thank you for service.
Thank you.
Remembrance.
Thank you.
Stay well and with your companion.
It's a good dog.
Good.
Thanks. Come on.
And Richard?
Thank you for your service.
Hey, thank you for your service.
Right.
I salute you too. And it's a remembrance from this organization.
Thank you.
Stay well with your new companion.
But as you know, this is reciprocal. You give me your challenge coin, I have to give CCI my challenge coin. United States Marine Corps, Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, Vietnam, with a combat action ribbon. I'd like you to present this to Canine Companions for Independence.
Oh, great.
It's reciprocal.
Thank you.
I salute you.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. John,
I hope that all of you guys can tune in for our event that we will be holding on November 9th, and visit us at canine.org/salute independence to check out what that's going to be like. Alrighty. So with that, I believe that is the end of our ceremony. I have one last task for our class members. Release. Thank you, everyone, for joining, both in person and online. Have a great rest of your day.
Made me cry.